After an Indian summer of dust, sweat, and tears, monsoon finally arrived a few weeks back to much rejoicing. But the capriciousness of the climate change gods can never be predicted, as this monsoon has been kind of fickle and not having very much rains for North India, leaving things feeling hot, muggy, sticky, and slightly oppressive. But even still, the change of the season has been in the air, and the Seeuws family has been breathing a sigh of relief along with the rest of Delhi. Today on Americanated, we celebrate monsoon with a bit of music, taking a trip to Old Delhi to help some friends find a new violin and premiere a new original soundtrack in honor of monsoon. We also play a board game that teaches us a bit about one of India's most quintessential and beloved epics, the Mahabharata, and Melissa and our good friend Rachel give a brief review of Amish Tripathi's book, Immortals of Meluha. All that and more today on American Indian. We're an American family living in India. We love food, film, language, culture, and making new friends. Join our adventures from America to India and beyond. Alright, so what are we making here today?
Pakoras.
Pakoras. Why are we making pakoras, Melissa?
Hold on, wait, I have to find. I'll show you why we're making.
How do you say pakoras in Hindi?
Pakora.
Pakora.
This cup says Bharish Wali chai, like rain chai.
Chai that you have in the rain.
Yes.
And
Yep.
it's rainy season now.
So then it says Kore Pi Hai Kya? Which means like, hey, is there some pakora to go along with my chai? Because I learned this year that in the rain you're supposed to eat pakora along with your chai. Sarah here has so generously offered to teach me how to make pakora. Okay, so first was basin, then you put
Black pepper. And just tiny bit red chili. Probably a little bit of salt.
Chopped up vegetables here. So you said you're going to do the aloo first,
Yep.
then pyaz, then the
Probably chili, yeah.
chili. Mixing with the hand gives it more flavor, a little flavor of love. Yeah, hot oil is not the place for babies. But I want to be part of the action, Mom. Beautiful aloo pakora. Okay. You just dip the onion in, just like the aloo. Oh, it's just like onion rings. It's gonna be so good.
Here. We are. Hot.
Yeah, you should have taken from like. Put it down and take from like this side.
It's too late. Already committed. Sarah was coming over to spend the night with Satya, but has turned into more time cooking than anything else. And she's made some green chutney. So would you just call this green chutney?
Oh, just chutney. Just spicy chutney.
And it's like kind of a cross between, in my opinion, the kind of green chutney you find on the street. So it's more cilantro-esque. This is the best green chutney I've had in my life. It's like a mix of salsa and chutney. Oh, it's Dash Max. It's Death for Max. It's Dash Max. It's amazing. Like she gave me, so like, want some chutney? I was like, not really. I was like, all right, I'll take some. Then I dipped one of the little chicken nuggets I made. I was like, oh my.
Feels like he's talking to somebody.
Good. So good.
I put lemon. I put some lemon there.
The lemon helps too.
Hi.
My gosh, like.
Good.
Spicy.
Happy monsoon.
Happy monsoon.
Happy monsoon. The monsoon, a word derived from the Arabic word mawsam, which simply means weather, is a seasonal reversal of winds and its associated increase in rainfall. It's caused by an annual shift in the apparent position of the sun between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, resulting in changes in temperature and wind and stuff, and that's probably really interesting to amateur meteorologists, but on the assumption that we're probably not amateur meteorologists. It's basically a crazy ton of rain that happens due to weathery things in the fallish time, late summer. It's one of the oldest weather observations recorded on the subcontinent and is the most anticipated weather event ever. So says Wikipedia. Citation needed. But it's believable because after 2 to 4 months of scorching heat, 1/7 of the world's population is dying for some relief. Interestingly, monsoon in a way does feel like American spring break. In spring, everyone is like so tired of it being cold in America, so spring break is just excuse to get out on the beach and it's lively, and fertility festival is basically what it is, a modern fertility festival. But monsoon kind of feels the same way. It's just the opposite. Instead of getting out of the cold, you're getting out of the heat. And it does have this feeling of growth and vitality, you know, because everything is turning green, everything's being rained upon again, and what lawns there are turning green, the trees are greener, the skies are bluer and clearer. There is a feeling of life springing from the dust instead of the frost. It's nice. The monsoon has been called the real financial minister of India because of its huge impact on agriculture, which in turn impacts food cost and food distribution, so it's a big deal. This then affects the social structure of India, since jobless people from rural communities sometimes migrate to the cities during a bad monsoon in order to look for work, and they may even remain there even after successful monsoons. In summer, the monsoon is a big deal. It's a time of great rejoicing if good, and a time of serious potential social changes if it's not so good. The music playing through this segment is a new little soundtrack piece made specially for you. So, very simple soundtracky kind of thing. Feel free to use it in any video project that you like. Royalty free, free to download, free to use, no copyright claims. So if you're into that kind of thing, feel free to download it. Link is in the description. Speaking of violin, our good friend Divya Tuck, who is the designer behind this, she made this little thing for us a few months back. That's me, that's Satya, that's Melissa and Rohan. And we're in front of India Gate / Lal Kila together. Divya's sister was interested in learning how to play the violin. As a 12th standard graduation present to herself, decided to buy a new one. So we tagged along to help her make a good choice.
So what's the plan today, Divya?
We're gonna go and get a violin from Daryaganj for my sister.
Alright. So you excited? Have you ever played violin before?
No.
So you play guitar and something else?
Yeah, I play piano, like I have a synthesizer.
Okay.
Played that for some 4 years, so
yeah. So the biggest difficulty at first is the tone of the sound. So you just gotta push through it though. You can do it.
I have to. I'm excited. I wanted to buy it from an year. I had exams, so postponing it till.
So this is celebration.
Totally, I'm freaking out.
So I think this is my first time with an Indian girl driver. So how are you going to represent Indian girls today?
Like hopefully, how guys do. Not too much swearing and shouting.
So far so good. We haven't, you haven't yelled or anything. And by now I would have yelled 35 times and used a lot of words that I would apologize for later.
When we parked our car, when I went up to pick you up, and our car was there and 2 people were waiting. It was okay. They were not in a hurry.
So far we just hit student violins in that place, and the first one was how much? 2,500?
Yeah.
The second was 5,000. So like $100 US. What did he say? There's nothing better than this or something?
Yeah, something like that. You can pay more for the same.
Yeah, with violins, there is no limit of cost, I promise you. You can spend $100,000 US, you can spend $1 million US, and you will hear the difference. I mean, well, most people won't hear the difference necessarily, but there is a difference.
She's not bad.
Doesn't sound like a cat already. That's good.
Charu found a nice beginner violin for about 8,000 rupees, which is about $140 US. Really good deal. It would actually be difficult in America to find a violin of about this quality for that price. To say thanks to us for helping out finding the violin, Divya gave us 2 pieces of artwork, one of Goku and one of Batman. I know this isn't India related, but this is a show about our adventures from America to India and beyond. And here we have an American superhero and a Japanese superhero painted by an Indian friend. So if you're not a comic book or superhero fan, bear with me, it'll only take a minute. Batman and Goku are going to end up inheriting a little spot on my wall here where I can get it all set up nice and right. For this reason, because Batman I like because he's resourceful. He doesn't have superpowers, but he takes what he has, his resources, his money, his land, his intelligence, and he puts them to use fighting crime and helping people who can't defend themselves. But Goku really is probably my favorite superhero of all, and it all comes down to this 2-page spread in the final manga of what we Americans have always called Dragon Ball Z. There, Vegeta, Goku's on-again, off-again rival turned ally and even friend, finally admits begrudgingly that Goku is in fact the best. The reason Goku's myth won't die is not because he's the best fighter or smartest tactician. It's not because the sun's light has predestined him to be the strongest being on Earth, but because Goku will never cease to learn. In addition to his powers, that's his ultimate superpower. And he generally wins not with his superiority of strength or intellect, because he's not really that smart after all, but with his indefatigable goodwill and pluck. He doesn't quit, and I need that kick in the butt because I want to quit all the time. So that's why these guys are going to be finding a place on the Surfing Violinist wall. And speaking of heroes and incredible feats, India has more than its share of both in one of its most beloved epics, the Mahabharata. Well, it just so happens someone has made a board game that has been sitting behind me the whole time over here, Kurukshetra. Like the Mahabharata, if you're from America, it has its share of heroes and thrilling heroics, but the game is quite confusing.
It's a quick summary.
That. But before we read that, we have to read this, the story guide. Whatever is there in this world to be known concerning the various ways and goals of life is there in this book, and whatever is not here is nowhere to be found. Sage Vyasa on the Mahabharata.
Oh, this is so cool. This takes me back to Mahabharata, the TV show. Guys, cool. People who have watched Mahabharata on DD, Doordarshan, will remember these.
So these are the exact same type of dice that were rolled for Draupadi and everyone, right?
Yeah. So and these were called the Sena.
I see.
The Sena, which basically means my army. The bad guy, Mama Shakuni, he used to be like, "Chal meri Sena."
Do you have some good advice cards there?
I've got some really good Krishna advice cards over here. One is roll a 3 against any turn against Dronacharya. Also, I've got a rule breaker, which means that I can roll a 5 against karma itself.
Karna.
Sorry, Karna.
Itself.
It was more fun, right? But it'd be so cool to be able to roll a 5 against karma and say, got nothing on me.
So, what do you think of Kurukshetra?
I think I need to give it another try.
If I were to put up a character from the Mahabharata on my wall, who should it be? You can't pick Krishna or Arjun because that's a given. I mean, the Gita is there, like we got that. But if there were someone else you could pick, it's not obvious. And no Beam either, because they made Chota Beam after Beam, and that's one of the most annoying kid shows I've ever seen. So he's off the list too, sorry. I actually do like the story guide because it helped out in understanding a little bit more, and a good refresher about the Mahabharata. But the game was kind of confusing and not particularly fun.
Kurukshetra! But another option on a rainy day is curling up with a good book. And Amish Tripathi's Shiva trilogy has been big on a lot of reading lists in India in recent years. So both Melissa and Rachel gave it a read, and here's what they had to say about it.
I felt like it did a good job of teaching a foreigner like me, like through story and through the way the outsider Shiva has the life of India explained to him. It does a good job of showing how Hindus think and sort of why they do some of the things they do.
So, what would you give it on the emoticon-ometer?
Smile.
A smile. And you read all 3. You didn't just read the first one.
I read all 3. I did enjoy all 3 quite a bit. Whoa, there are some crazy twists and turns that were really enjoyable in the second and third books.
I didn't particularly care for the Immortals of Meluha book. It did not grab me. The story nor the characters really grabbed me. But I had committed to reading it, so I read the whole first book.
Emoticon-ometer, what does it get?
Probably a meh.
Meh. Okay.
But Rachel liked it, and Karan Johar's making a movie out of it with Tiger Shroff at last report. So check it out, or don't. This monsoon hasn't been the typical monsoon, but it has been a breath of fresh air. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you're a fan of this show, please consider donating to help us improve it. If you can't contribute financially, a share, a like, a subscription are all great ways to help the show. Until next time, remember to keep it creative, keep it cross-cultural, and keep it constructive, YouTube. Thank you very much.